just have to stop letting them control you.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Janine. I'm so excited to be sitting here again with you today. Man, we have been just on a roll with all these videos and all this content that we're putting out there for all these future business owners and future entrepreneurs and just women or individuals wanting to grow themselves and become something more, And so today's topic, this is kind of something that is really powerful that has been hitting me a lot this past week. And I think a lot of people can relate to this topic. And that's just about what is your kind of thought process and what types of subconscious beliefs do you have that are stopping you from being successful, from pursuing your goals and reaching to new heights, right? So, Janine, I want you to take it away here, and we'll just talk a little bit more about what is this all about? How can we help other people kind of get over the whole subconscious blocks that we have, right? So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Crystal, for starting off, the podcast. I'm excited. And if you guys do hear screaming in the back, it's my little niece. But I'm excited to have this call more towards, spotlighting yourself, Crystal, because I know you've been going through a lot the past week, and till now you're still rocking it, and you're still putting a smile on your face, which I think is pretty awesome. No matter what adversity you go through, you're still out here and you're still smiling no matter what, right? So I think that's pretty awesome. But with yourself, Crystal, with that being said, overcoming mental blocks, going through mental blocks, how would you, with the mental blocks that you are currently going through now? I know last week we kind of talked about, telling what you tell yourself when people doubt you or when your loved ones doubt you. But what about when it's yourself doubting yourself? What do you, what are some things that you tell yourself when you're going through a mental block, like the negative things that put you into that mindset? And, the process of going through that mental block and, at the end, overcoming that mental block. I don't know if you're still going through that mental block. If you still are, tell us a little bit about it. And you don't have to go into details, just give us more of a mindset of how you're currently going to go through that mental block and how you want to overcome it. Hopefully that makes more sense.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Honestly, there's a lot of different ways that people are mentally blocked, whether it's something that has happened to them in childhood, that's really traumatized them to where they don't believe in themselves anymore, or maybe just something somebody said, right? And there's like a couple of books that I've been reading, and one of them was The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, right? And it talks a lot about what your subconscious thoughts are, um, how it is ultimately affecting you from reaching your goals, from reaching your dreams. And it could be like, for instance, let's say maybe you're growing up and your mom and dad told you, um, oh, sorry, money doesn't grow on trees, or we can't afford it, or money is the root of all evil. Well, when you think about it, uh, most often than not, people are keeping those thoughts in their mind, and as they grow older and they're trying to make more money, why aren't they not being able to keep it? And it all comes down to that one statement that somebody said, right? And they're like deep down thinking to themselves, "Oh, well, if I have more money, or if I become more successful, maybe I'll become evil, or maybe I just won't be the person that people want to be around," kind of thing. And so we put all these negative beliefs on ourselves that is just, it's detrimental to our mental and emotional and physical health. And so for myself, this past week, I've been really kind of digging deep as far as, why am I pursuing a business? Why am I trying to become an entrepreneur rather than just working a job? Why do I want to be successful? And it really comes down to the more I kept asking myself, why? And I give myself an answer, then I ask why and kept going and going. Well, it all ended up having to do with my childhood and how things just really did not work out when we were struggling, and there was a time and a point where we were basically homeless. We spent years living in a hotel or in a camper, in a house with kind of like holes in the roof, not a lot of heat, winter nights, -27, no heat, just blankets. And that brought me to that moment and that emotion that I had in that moment to where I was like, I don't want to be in this situation. I don't want my family to be in this situation. And I don't want anybody else to be in this situation. So if I can get over what is blocking me, my fears, then I can move forward into making things happen so that way I can help people and I can inspire people, right? Because that's my ultimate goal, is to help and inspire people. And so one of the things is like, you are what you think, what you think you become, and what you become is your reality. So the more you have those thoughts and try to reprogram your mind, you also have to think how much of your emotion is tied to those thoughts.
Crystal, sorry, not to cut you off. When you said, when you talk about reprogramming your mind, what do you mean by that? Can you elaborate on that? Because some people don't know what it
Yeah.
means
Yeah, of
exactly.
course. So when it comes to like reprogramming your mind, it's more of well, for myself, growing up, I've had a lot of negative thoughts about myself, about um my environment, you know, um where I just felt like maybe I wasn't worthy of things, or maybe, things are just not going to happen because it's not in my path, just a lot of negativity. And so when I mean by reprogramming your mind, it's more of, okay, well, when you have that negative thought or reaction to a certain situation or a person, take a step back or take a moment and just be like, okay, well, why am I feeling like this? And then you might have an answer. And then ask, okay, why again? And then why again? And then why again? Until you get emotion out of it to where you're like, well, shit, excuse my language, but you're just like, what the heck? Like, this makes no sense. So I have no reason to be like this. Have no reason to be negative because this actually doesn't make sense. So once you start breaking your thought process down and connecting your emotions to that, you can start to shift yourself into being like, oh, well, I am worthy. I am great. I can be successful. I can do this and that. So it's just a process, and it's not going to be easy. I'm still going through it every day. Everybody is going through it every day. So that's kind of what I mean by that. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Crystal, for elaborating more on that. So when it comes to mental blockness, when it comes to you overcoming it and you telling yourself, you're great, you're awesome, I am strong, and stuff like that. When it comes to your environment, how do you overcome a mental block? Because for me, I would personally say going through a mental block and being around an environment that doesn't help. But what if it's an environment that you can't get out of, or how would you how do I say this? How would you overcome a mental block when being around in an environment that kind of like pull you more into that mental block, and then um especially, being in entrepreneurship, there are people like what we talked about last week where people that you love the most are sometimes the ones that, make you feel a certain way.
Mhm.
And being around that environment, how can you pull yourself, how do you, how do I say, how do you block what they're saying and what you're feeling when you're around them, making sure you're staying positive? Like, let's say for an example, let's say you're currently going through a mental block and you're like saying, I can't do this, like I can't be in entrepreneurship, um what they're saying is true. And I miss being around family, I love being around my friends, I love being able to work a 9 to 5. I love being the typical normal individual. And let's say you're going through that and you're going through a mental block. How do you tell yourself, or how do you make sure you don't get roped into, you know, doubting yourself and becoming an entrepreneurship?
Mhm. Okay, that's a really great question. I love that example too, because there have been times where, um, I've had that moment where I'm like, well, maybe I should just go back and just do what everybody else is doing. Well, first, I just weigh the pros and cons. I'm like, okay, well, why am I pursuing my own business? Well, I want more time with my friends. I want more time with my family. I want to be able to make memories because we only live one life, and it's not fair to spend, 40 hours a week for what, 40 years just to have maybe like 4 or 5 weeks a year to spend with your family, if that. Some companies maybe give you like 2 weeks off, they don't give you much. And so I want to try to enjoy every moment I can with the people I love. And so, and the cons are, yeah, it's hard. You're going to break yourself down and you're going to learn more about yourself more than ever. You're going to cry sometimes, but that's part of human nature because we're humans. And it's all about the journey, to be honest. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And it's so beautiful on the way I'm going as myself into my business, learning more about who I am and what I'm meant to be doing. And so when I have, an environment where it's so negative and it tries to pull me down or drain me, I just take a step back and I'm like, I'm sorry, you know, for the way you're feeling right now. And I know it's not your fault. It's nobody's fault feeling that because it was kind of passed down through them from generation to generation, because their grandparents went through a certain economy problem and their grandparents went to something. And so we just hold on to so much generational anger and regret and just doubt and negativity. And it's not meant to be like that. We're meant to be the light. We're meant to be the hope in making something better and making a life, being the legacy for your family. So, um, yeah, when it comes down to it, I have a lot of heart for those people that are still in that situation and still in that mindset, and that's okay. I mean, if that's who they want to continue being and they're comfortable doing that, great, you know. But I know who I am and I'm comfortable with that. And I am comfortable with continuing to learn more about myself every day.
I love that. I love that. Always learning new things about yourself and not letting others determine where you're supposed to be in life or how you're supposed to feel. On that note, Crystal, when it comes to mental block, what would you say is a good, how do I say? Because you know how sometimes have people have mental block where it's like days, weeks, months. Um, have you ever had a mental block where it affected you so much, it took more than days, more than weeks, more than months, that it stopped you from achieving your goals and aspirations in life?
That's a good question. Um, I keep I mean, yeah. I mean, there has been so many ups and downs to where it has taken months and months on time just to reach what I was trying to achieve. And when you look back at it, yeah, I felt like it was like the hardest thing in the world. I thought it was unaccomplishable. But when in reality, it was the universe, it was, our Lord just really trying to shape me into the person I need to be before I can reach it. And so, you know, that's where I think about it is even though I might not be hitting my goals or my milestones right now, there's a reason for it. And maybe I need to grow more. Maybe I need to learn more. Maybe I need to help others more. And continuously being the light until I hit that milestone. But I'm going to keep going because there's more people that I'm supposed to help. And there's more people that I'm supposed to inspire.
Yes, I definitely agree on that, Crystal. You're inspiring a lot of individuals, including myself. Before we do end, is there anything you want to add or anything you feel like you want to reach out to the audience and let them know more about?
Um, yeah, I think that, a lot of us are going through some tough times right now in the way things are in our world, and it's a struggle getting through it mentally and emotionally. So, my biggest thing is always have somebody that's gonna be in your corner. But what I mean by being in your corner is being that person that's gonna give you the hard truth sometimes. Because for myself, having that person that doesn't give you that hard truth and they're just like, "Oh, okay, you're okay." No, it doesn't help you. It doesn't grow you. So have that person backing you up. And there's some really great books out there that could really help you get through that emotional toughness and really start to believe in yourself and who you are and what you're meant to be doing as a person. And so, like I said before, the Secrets of a Millionaire Mind was a great book. And there's a YouTube video that I came across. It was affirmations from Valuetainment. If you YouTube that and learn how to truly make those affirmations, like really connect to your emotions, it'll you have to dig deep, but it'll make a huge impact on you over time. So, for all y'all out there that are just really struggling and mentally feeling exhausted and tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired, we're here. We know it, and we're here to support you and do anything we can to help you grow and be the light that you want to be. And if you have any questions or you want to learn more about how you can get out of your rut, and how to start working on yourself, don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Crystal, for sharing today. I always love hearing from you and seeing the growth you've become as a woman. And before we do end, I did want to say a quote that I feel, you know, definitely reminds me of what we're talking about today, is you don't have to control your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them control you. But other than that, Crystal, thank you so much for logging on today. Thank you for taking the time to, tell us more about mental blocks and how you overcome it and what you go through when you do have it and how you just tell yourself to be positive. But thank you so much, Crystal, for logging on, and I'm excited for next week.
Yes, I'm excited. See y'all next week.